Welcome. Let's think about how many handshakes would be necessary in a large group of people if each person in the group needs to shake hands with each other person in the group exactly one time and they do not shake their own hand. How many total handshakes would occur? And I know we might not ever get back to a place where we need to do or we're allowed to do handshakes, so maybe it's just some kind of greeting. I'm going to call it handshakes for the purpose of this video. Let's think about 40 people in a group. How many handshakes do you suppose have to occur in total in the scenario I described? If you are like me, you might have a jumbled scene in your mind. It might just seem like, oh, there are going to be a lot of them. I don't know. I'm not really sure where to start. One place to start with problem solving is to take things that seem like they're big and complex and shrink them down to something more manageable. So rather than a large group of characters that we're worried about, like these, let's shrink this down to just 5 characters and think about what would happen in a room with just 5. Here are my 5 characters for this demonstration. Here's a pro tip. It's important to grow up and have a job where you can play with toys as part of your job. All right, back to the task at hand. If I have just these 5 characters, then how many handshakes would be necessary for each of them to shake each of the other characters' hands exactly one time? What is our total number of handshakes? So let's start here on the end with Lego Batman. And if he turns and shakes each other character's hand, that will be 4 handshakes. Then he's out of the running. Then the next character would come along and he does an additional 3 handshakes. The next character, let's say they do 2 additional handshakes. The stormtrooper here has 1 handshake left to do. And then this character on the end, she has already gone through all of the other characters. So we are all done with handshakes. We just have to count them up. 4 for Batman, 3 for the fire personnel, 2 for whatever that guy is, 1 for the stormtrooper. 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Now let's extend that to a larger group. Here's my messy larger group. It would be better if they were organized. Here are my slightly more organized characters. I have 22 of them. So this would be a room with 22 characters needing to shake hands. Let's pull this one out. They're not lined up. They're just a little bit more organized than in the last view. So if I pull out this one, that leaves 21 handshakes to start with. So 21. Pick up another character. 20 handshakes, pick up another character, 19 handshakes, and you'll keep going and going and going. 21 is where we started. 21 plus 20 plus 19 plus 18 plus 17, all the way down to plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. And you would need to add those up to find the total number of handshakes. To go back to our original problem, it was about 40 people. If we have 40 people and they each need to do handshakes all around the room, or 40 people who need to greet each other, the first person in your lineup or in your collection, they would need to do 39 handshakes. And then they're out of the running. The next one comes along, does 38. The next one comes along and does 37. And these are all being added together so that we can find the total number of handshakes. And we keep going until we get down to 4. Plus 3, plus 2, plus 1. And in a different video, we'll talk about some strategies for adding these together rather than just adding them up one at a time directly. There are some really clever ways to get at that sum, and that's kind of interesting. But for right now, I'm going to leave you with another important question. How many chocolate shakes?